Today we're in the tour van with Emma because she's got some new Titleist GT clubs she would just fit for.
Yep, and I definitely want to test the gapping on these because it's been really important to me that I have a club for every distance and I can hit anything I need to when it starts to get lengthier. So
Emma's going to hit her clubs. We're going to make sure the gapping is correct and see if she needs to make any tweaks. Hey golfers, I'm Drew Mahowald of Second Swing Golf here in the tour van at Second Swing at Minnetonka, joined by Emma Carpenter. She's with us today with her new clubs. She was recently fit for Titleist GT at the top of the bag. And now we're going to kind of see how those clubs perform in the TrackMan bay. And I know one of the big pieces that you were looking at was making sure the yardages are correct, the gapping is correct on them.
Yeah, totally. It's gonna be awesome hitting these on TrackMan again. I've hit them outside since I got fit, and they're amazing. I love them, but definitely want to check some of the yardages just to make sure everything is seamless all the way through the bag.
Oh, absolutely. That's a big part too. You know, that's with this top part of the bag. I know it's one thing to get a driver fitting, but you went the extra few yards, so to speak, and went with a couple of fairway woods as well, but making sure that they're gapped correctly. And any fitting is important because the nice thing about Titleist is they have this sure fit hosel where there are 16 settings that you could choose from if you needed to make a tweak to go up or down in loft, open or close the face if you need to. So today we're going to have you start by just giving us some numbers with your iron or your longest iron in the bag, and then we'll go through each club and we'll see how the numbers shake out. Are you feeling pretty good about things right now? Because I know you mentioned you've played them outside on the golf course. And do you think you're going to need to make any adjustments here?
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest thing for me is I've actually never ever carried more than one fairway wood. I've always had a 3-wood and then a hybrid and then a 4-iron. So it's a little bit of a learning curve for me having now this is like a 7-wood in the bag. So definitely with the spin, run out, everything, I just I want to make sure that it all fits good.
Yeah, I got you. Well, you're in the right place to make sure it all fits well. So let's go hit some golf shots.
Let's do it.
All right, so Emma, you just hit your kind of some stock 4-iron numbers for us. And so what you were telling us is about kind of 200 to maybe a little over 200 yards is sort of what you play on the golf course for a carry number.
Yeah.
So it looks like that's about the average here.
Yeah.
And when thinking back to your fitting or even now just knowing what we have, going up to a 7-wood, is there an expectation or a hope that you have maybe for it, or what are you trying to get out of now that you got the 7-wood in the bag? I guess what are you trying to get out of that club?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that if this goes up to it's hard because I'm fortunate enough to hit my long irons long, and I can only hit my woods and drivers so long. It's like that gap we're looking everywhere between like 200 and 280-ish to be to have a few clubs right within that range. Yeah. So if this club is carrying around 200, rolling out to maybe like 210, 220 even, then I would want my 7-wood to be carrying a little bit further than this. Yeah. And running out further, and then I want my 3-wood to be going even further. Obviously driver is driver. So so
it's also a little part of like your style of play and how often you find yourself, say, attacking a green with these clubs. Like, are you going to use a 7-wood as a tee club more than an attack the green club? Like, I know that it's still new for you, and that's something you'll figure out as you play more. But that's another part of the conversation.
What do most people use it for?
So I would say the 7-wood and 9-wood growth of just people putting them in the bag is for players that are probably swinging it slower than you and are looking for something off of the fairway. And maybe it's a par 4 or a long par 5 or something where they need to get the ball closer to the green. That's just their only goal. But they need loft and launch to do it. Right. So instead of a hybrid or even a long iron like a 4-iron, they're grabbing a 7-wood like that or a 9-wood and getting the ball into the air to do so, because that's what those clubs do effectively. So, and you're seeing 7-woods are all the rage, both with amateurs and pros are putting them in the bag all over the place right now. Yeah. So, I would say for you, I would say it might be 50-50 based on like if you find a short, skinny par 4 that you need to place a tee shot at X yardage, 7-wood's gonna be an awesome club for that. But you're probably also going to play some par 5s where you can get there in 2, and that's going to be a perfect club as well.
Right. Well, I think that what's really nice about having a 7-wood as opposed to a 3-wood in a par 5 situation is that I generally have liked to have a 3-wood that's low spinning and can really chase, as opposed to having a wood that can still go far but is not just like meant to run and run and run.
Yeah, it's gonna stop.
Yeah, and I think that that's what's good about a 7-wood, because it's like sometimes I feel like I'm like, okay, is it gonna be a 4-iron or is it gonna be a 3-wood? Because like our 3-wood's too much club, 4-iron is not even nearly gonna get me there. Like, let's just lay up. So I think that that's what's good about having the 7-wood. I've had the hybrid in the past, which has also been a really good club, but similarly, it's kind of been just like a very specific number, and I don't know, I'm interested to see.
Yeah, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I hit that a little thin. I didn't
Okay.
hit it great, and it went actually.
So that's very similar to your 4-iron. I mean, straight up. That's a pretty similar height, pretty similar carry distance. The spin's a little higher, which will maybe get stopped a little faster. But.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that is
nice.
That's more of what I was gonna expect there. So
it feels a lot easier to hit too, as opposed to a 4-iron.
It's easier to get the ball in the air. That's a fact. So that the interesting thing here is actually your 4-iron loft. I guess I'm not familiar if you've made any adjustments with a fitter to strengthen the lofts or not. I don't know unless it's just stock. But your 4-iron loft is actually stronger than your 7-wood loft.
Interesting.
So there's and now that's where this gapping thing is going to be a play, because it's okay to have two clubs hit the same distance, but it's a matter of making sure you have the shots you need on the course.
Right.
Because if you hit them both 200 carry, that's one thing, but one can be a low trajectory club and one can be a high trajectory club.
That was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lost it to the right.
That's really good.
You think that's really good?
So
well, definitely, I definitely get. I mean, at least.
Did you hit that good?
Yeah, I hit it good. I guess I just left the face a little bit open, but I mean, I can even with an open club face, I carried that at least 10 yards further than my 4-iron.
Okay.
But then it stops right at 230. When a 3-wood, I would expect to go a lot further than 230.
Oh yeah. Your 3-wood will go further than this, but.
Right. I think that was a little bit thin again.
Okay. This is good.
Yeah.
This is good. We're learning here. So that was a little thin. So what's happening is when you hit it good, your spin is going to be in the low 3,000s, and you're hitting it over 100 feet, and it's going, 215 carry, call it, was that last one. And then your thin shots are going to be a little bit shorter. And, but yet, I mean, that right there, 209.7 is still further than your 4-iron was going by 10 yards.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, I'm like cutting it a little bit,
That's
or at
interesting.
least more pushing it, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of a high, a fade more than anything. But that's a good thing to have though, because that ball, if it's a soft green, is gonna stop right away. So you'll have a 215, club that you can just stop on a dime if you need to. Another good swing from the looks of it. Yep. All right, this is
I feel
great.
like I almost forced that one to draw because the other ones were...
So I know you like to see the draw more than you do the fade. So let's bring up some circles.
Wow, that is really consistent carry though. It's like 214, 215, 216, 217, right in there.
Yeah. So this is your 7-wood versus your 4-iron. The 4-iron is a little more condensed and controlled here. We had those couple that went out to the right a little bit. This one is almost. This was your first shot here, which I'm almost going to remove entirely with that.
Just needed a.
So here's what we got, though. And I would say there's a couple in here with the 4-iron you didn't hit absolutely perfect.
Right.
And there's a couple with the 7-wood you probably didn't hit absolutely perfect. But what we have is a 14-yard difference in carry average, which is really good.
Yeah, that's really good. That's about perfect.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And then you have look at the difference in height here. You have
that's crazy.
You have about 30 feet. You're gonna launch this thing really high and be able to stop it really nicely on the green as well.
Wow. Well, and
because it's interesting. The total yard is actually 5 yards difference. Now, granted, TrackMan has a way of, they grant you some rollout on those flat shots. But like, for example, if you were to play middle of the summer, dry heat Texas or something like that, or Arizona, your 4-iron actually might go farther total than your 7 would, because it'll roll out a lot and it'll bound on the firm ground. But in terms of in the air, your 7 wood is about 14 yards, 15 yards further.
Yeah. Do we have a land angle that we can look at?
Land angle 43.7 to 34.
Yeah, yes, that makes a lot of sense, because I think about whenever I'm hitting a 4-iron into a green, I don't feel that confident that I can land it on the green and stop it.
Yeah.
Because like literally the way that a 4-iron will land, it's not gonna land like soft ever. And that's why I usually hit it off a tee, just to get right around that like 210, 220 yards.
Yeah.
Distance, but
so and again, we'll hit 3 wood and then we'll hit driver and we'll see. But actually, a conversation that we could maybe even have now would be taking 4-iron out.
Yeah.
For either maybe a 9 wood, or like a hybrid to replace their 4-iron.
Well, that may just be in the works, Drew. It may just be in the works. The 4-iron replacement.
Well, we'll see what the 3 wood does here, and we'll see what we're looking at. But that might be a conversation to have.
Cool, but I mean, so far, probably the gapping doesn't get a whole lot better than that.
No, that's perfect.
When you look at like my lower end misses versus the ones I flushed, and then my misses versus the ones I flushed, it's like it's like perfect.
It's looking really good.
Yeah, nice.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
I don't even think I got all of that. I think I got more.
I think you got a lot of it though. What do you play for this to be a certain yardage?
I play for my 3-wood to go 245.
Is that a carry or is that a total?
Total.
It is? Okay.
Usually.
So, because
I should probably know.
Because I know in my experience, my 3-wood distance off the tee is different than it is off the ground.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a boost there off the tee.
Right.
Both carry and then in total that I get.
Right.
So, but I mean, that's really good start. Obviously, that's a really good shot. Look, you hit a 149 smash factor, so.
Just a little bit heely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of dove a little bit left on you.
Yeah, okay.
Because another thing to consider, I know, we talked about it off camera, but it's like the difference of swinging in here with a mat, swinging out on the golf course with grass, and sort of a difference in, at least for me, and I think you agreed with me, is like I'll swing differently on grass, especially if I know it's soft turf. Like, all right, I'm going to make a big divot here.
Right.
I can. And the mat, it's a little different. And so that's why we do the 30-day play guarantee, to let people play with their clubs when they get fit with them before
for sure
they have to fully commit to them after that 30-day window. Yeah. So that was maybe that slightly behind the ball shot where it hit the turf or hit the mat.
Did it? I couldn't even tell.
The only reason I say that is because I see the spin went down.
Oh, it actually felt kind of good.
But the result is good, and that's a great result. Like, that's exactly what you're wanting, I'm sure.
Yeah. Not awesome. I can do better than that, but good. That's a good.
Well, that's good though. I mean,
it's a good gauge for a miss hit.
If that's your sort of baseline, almost, let's say that's the shot that you swing and don't hit so well, and it carries 216. Well, okay, 216 is higher than where we were with the average of your 7-wood.
Right.
Okay. Another one, a little bit of a knuckleball effect to it.
Yeah.
But let's see what we got here. So we've got a lot. We're getting closer to that full gap here, right?
Yeah.
So these numbers make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
the launch is lower,
really
the spin's lower.
They really do.
They make a lot of sense. And you mentioned you kind of play for your 3-wood to be a total of about 245?
245 is usually what
your average total with this 3-wood right now is 244.9. So we have some tweaks to make sure it's 245.
I was 0.1 off. Yeah, we got to tweak it to get it better.
Yeah. So you can see on the map here, we're getting up there. And it's actually a good thing for me to see that the ovals actually overlap, because that means we don't have this crazy gap where it's like
right.
25 yards where
right.
you have that spot there where you need a club that's going to fit that distance.
For sure.
So the ovals out there overlap, which is great, but then also you have the different trajectories too, which I like. So you have a 4-iron that chases out there. You can hit off the tee if you want that low flighted runner almost. You have that with your current 4-iron, and then the 7-wood is going to give you that high, stop on the green shot at that distance. And as we talked about too, with your ability to shape shots, that high cut is an option too. If you need to like that tight front right pin, that 4-iron is not going to be able to do the trick for you. You can't run it up there. There's a bunker maybe protecting it. Your 7-wood has the launch and spin needed to give you what you need there. So, yeah, really good. Let's see. Want to see driver now?
Yeah, let's do it.
GT2.
My brand new driver. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that was good.
That's a pretty good start for the GT2.
That's like, I don't really need a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the draw you like to see. It's 100 feet in the air, which that's that number our fitters are always looking for.
100 feet is exactly what you're looking for for a driver.
In theory, so the thing is, every club, really, its peak height should be the same. Every club.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So it's like, a 60-degree will go like this, but a driver will go like this and peak, and they'll peak at the same spot, roughly.
You master fitter, Drew.
It's just, that's depending. That's with the loft and the spin and the speed. They should about have all the same peak height, which sounds weird at first with all the different lofts, but there's some distance again. Okay. That's about the same golf shot.
It's pretty darn
close. Let's get one more. If you can do it like that again, I think, granted, those are two very, very good tee shots, but. Same speed.
Oh, no.
No, okay, so this is actually, I know you hung it out to the right, and I know you don't like that.
But honestly,
here's what I like. Look at the carry distances, 249, 245, 245. So
that's
it's still,
crazy.
So if I bring up the map, look at it's what you see so often from drivers is like a bad swing like that, what you just had. You knew it right off the bat. You didn't like it.
Right.
Especially out to the right, you have to face 5 degrees open. That spin will go way up, and the distance will drop way down. The distance carry distance basically stayed the same, and the spin only went up maybe a couple hundred RPM.
Right.
So your misses, I would consider that a miss for you. You didn't lose any distance.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really good. Really, really good.
And
cool.
And the other thing too, I'm going to comment on as we kind of wrap here is that you said you wanted your 3-wood distance total is 245, right?
Right.
Look at where your driver's carrying.
Carrying.
So
that's been like the exact trend with every other one. It's like the total is near, or like the worst shot of one club is like the best shot of the club behind it. And that's not some magic formula, and that's not how everybody has to be, but it says something when there's a rhythm there. Yeah.
That's what your clubs are doing.
Yeah, so. The numbers are, they speak for themselves, and the circles speak for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll leave it this way. If you, with that 4-iron, if that is a shot that you need in the bag right now, that you mentioned you kind of have it where it rolls out, it's kind of a worm burner, a little lower shot sometimes. If you have that and you need it in the bag, then keep it in the bag, because there's definitely a purpose for that type of club. But if you're seeing that it's happening where you need a little bit more launch height, and that 7-wood maybe just goes a little too far, then maybe it's time for a 9-wood discussion at some point. But
yeah,
we'll leave that for maybe a later date. So otherwise, that looks awesome up there.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
That's fantastic gapping. I think Titleist and Lucas over there did a great job with your fitting. So
Titleist and Lucas, bro, absolutely killed it. Couldn't ask for much more than this, really.